Hello, friend. Is your RV furnace running cold while your air conditioner runs hot? Is your water heater weeping and you're not sure what you said to make it so unhappy? When you flush the toilet, does your TV set go off? Is your wife giving you pressure because your shower won't? Is that what's troubling you, Bunky?
Well, cheer up, friend, because it's time for Ask the Professor with the Texas RV Professor, Terry Cooper. Your lifestyle is about to get a whole lot better because now you can take the bull by the horns and solve these problems yourself. Just watch Ask the Professor with Terry Cooper, the Texas RV Professor, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi there, welcome to Ask the Professor with Terry Cooper, the Texas RV Professor. I'm Dave Dufour, and this is the first show in the series, Ask the Professor. And so we're going to spend a little bit of this first segment introducing you. Hi, Terry. How are you doing?
We're doing very well, Dave.
Good. Terry is down there in Waco, Texas, and he is an instructor of RV technology. Is that what we would call it?
That's what we call ourselves. Actually, what I'm doing now is I'm actually doing two different segments. We do recreational vehicle maintenance training, but also I'm doing some things with the solar industry. We're having a lot of business come into Texas right now, and they really need some students prepared to go to work in the solar business as well as the RV business. So it's been a good mesh for us being able to blend those two together.
Well, that's great. That's great. You've been teaching there at at the community college level or community college classes for quite some time now, right?
7 years, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
7 years.
What's your when it comes to the average RVer, and we've talked a little bit about this, what is your philosophy of teaching, or your philosophy of what RVers should or shouldn't learn, et cetera, in terms of how their RVs work, in terms of the total technology?
Well, you know, Dave, quite honestly, I believe that 80% of the problems that we have with our RV are things that we can take care of ourselves if somebody would just show us how. Mm-hmm. And so with that premise, what I've done is we have built a platform of courses and DVDs and some books that actually takes an individual through, and so that way they can do that 80%, because, you know, there's no sense in them paying for a service call. There's no sense for them having to be without service or being out without the lifestyle because they didn't quite know about throwing a circuit breaker or having to reset some things. So 80% of it, they should be able to do it themselves.
Well, of course, the big deal, of course, is cost to the RVer, I would assume, because obviously there's a place for the professional. There's a point at which you say, hey, this is not for me. But when you're out on the road and the technician or there's not a service technician handy, knowing how to, at the very least, get by, if not fix the problem permanently, is a good idea.
That's true. You know, and you're right. There are certain questions or certain issues that come up that really do need to go to a professional. But quite honestly, when you really begin to look at it, you know, there's not that much. There's 20% of it out there. So for the most part, we can handle it ourselves.
Okay. Well, that's great. And so you also teach this philosophy or this message not only in your books and DVDs, but also at rallies and meetings around the country as well.
That's true. That's true. I do a pretty vigorous route where we go to see a lot of the RV shows. We go to do a lot of dealership shows, you know, where they're doing something there on their lot. So here again, and that's what the dealers are telling me, said, look, if we educate our consumer, they'll use their product and they won't tear it up, because that's the big thing. A lot of times it's not that it was defective or that it was not maybe maintained improperly or it was maybe defective from the factory. It's just that someone didn't know how to use it. Or maybe they didn't know what to do to maintain it so they could extend the life of that product.
So it solves a lot of issues on the dealer side as well.
Most definitely.
For the user to understand their RV. Well, that's great. One of the things that we're going to be doing with the show, of course, is you'll be able to ask questions of the Texas RV Professor, Terry Cooper. And there are going to be a number of different ways for you to get in contact with the show and with the professor here at RVNN.TV. The first thing is that you can call professor or you can email, email professor at RVNN.tv and ask a question, make a comment, make a suggestion for something that you'd like to see the professor cover in upcoming episodes of Ask the Professor. You can also call 1-877-578-RVNN and use extension 708, and that will take you right to the professor's voicemail, and you can leave a message for the professor there, and he'll get it and possibly be able to use that question in an upcoming episode of Ask the Professor. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Flickr, and so you can follow the show and follow the entire RV Newsnet network there, and so you can basically stay in touch with the show a whole lot of different ways. And also you can text message RVNN to 72727, and that will give you text message updates as to when the shows are coming up and other information about the network. So when we'll come back, we're going to be talking about 5 things that you ought to know before buying an RV with the Texas RV Professor. We'll be right back.
For more TV like this from the world of RVs, head to RVNN.tv.